morning, everyone, and welcome aboard SD Californica. Hi, how are you? It's been a while. Had to take a little bit of a hiatus from the boat. One, it stopped working, so I couldn't. We had to replace the starter motor, which was good because now I'm a little bit more familiar with that engine. It's a Volvo Penta MD7B, the original engine, and yeah, it's good to know how it works, what can be done, and just feel a little bit more familiar with it in case things do break down in the future. So, good learning experience, the things I wanted to do when I got this boat. We're in the backside of Catalina now. I am solo. Unfortunately, my best friend, my chief safety officer and first mate, Jack the salty dog, we had to put him down. It was just all of a sudden, and it was the right thing to do. I'm sure many people have been in the same position before, having to say goodbye to your best friend like that. But it is what it is, and it never gets easy. But you know, it's always worth it. It's to have these pets in our lives. So we're celebrating his life today, and we're gonna go and explore. We don't know. I think I'm gonna try Little Harbor again. What I really want to do is I brought my mountain bike, and I want to see if we can get a spot at Little Harbor and bike over to a really awesome dramatic spot called Ben Weston. It's a really good campsite, and it's really exciting floristically in that area as well. So we'll see if we can get on the hook there. If not, you know, it's in the peak season of summer. Then we'll just hike up to Cat Harbor and see what we can find around there on our bike. So it'll be real fun. So let's see what we can do. All right, so we're not gonna do Little Harbor. There was another boat on a single hook swinging around most of the anchorage, and another small fishing boat. Looks like another sailboat behind me that's coming in too, so might get a little crowded, and I don't like being around other boats on single hook. Usually the etiquette is that whoever sets the standard of, you know, bow and stern or single hook, everyone kind of follows suit. So, well, I don't like doing that with other boats around. I'll get used to it one day, but so we're heading up to Cat Harbor, and we might swing on a single hook there. It's usually what I do, right outside the mooring field, and I'll inflate the dinghy and go ashore, get some lunch, and yeah, enjoy the nice weekend and see what we can find and explore. All right, we did it. We are safely on the hook at Cat Harbor. This is a really calm, protected anchorage, but the wind does pick up here. So it's not as bumpy, but there is a bit of wind that comes through the isthmus. So I got about a little extra scope out right now, but dinghy's all inflated and we're ready to go to shore. We got the bike all inflated, and we're ready to go for mountain bike. I am not a mountain biker, so this will be a little bit of an experience, and hopefully everything goes well. So right now we're gonna go up what I think is called Silver Peak Trail. It's gonna be more of the incline, so we'll just kind of punish ourselves first, get that over with. I think there's some more interesting plants as we get up into a little bit higher elevation. One thing I also want to mention is I like to bring a little portable ship-to-shore radio. One, it's good redundancy to have on the boat in case your radio goes out, but also when I go on these hikes or explorations and things, it's good to know I can contact somebody without cell service or anything like that, and make sure we can get, you know, a bit to safety in anything, if anything happens. So good thing to get. This one I think was just south of $100 or around $100, but it's good to know I have that communication line if I ever need it. Let's go see what we can find. That's pretty cool. Looks like one of the remnant mines that were here on Catalina. Looks like it's since boarded up, but still pretty cool to find. And also with a nice view looking down at Californica, just perfectly on anchor. Such a great anchorage. If you can, this is a really cool side of the island to explore. So spotted here along the roadside is actually a really cool plant. This one, it looks like all the other kind of scrubs right now that are in their drought deciduousness in the dry season here in the summer. But it's actually a really cool plant that hopefully I can come back and show you during the wet season when it's really growing and in fact also flowering. But this is a plant that can easily be confused with like the Toyon right here, or even the lemonade berry, that all occur within the same kind of chaparral type habitat. But this one, you can see from its red bark in there, resembles and is closely related to manzanita. This one is actually called Xylococcus bicolor, which is in fact related to manzanita and has the common name mission manzanita. So it does get small little appleberry-like flowers, hence the name manzanita, but also will go to a berry, an edible berry that I'm sure the island fox or even some of the island scrub jay and other animals really rely on as food. So really cool plant. This is Xylococcus bicolor, also known as the mission manzanita. All right, so behind me here is a really important plant here on the islands. This is a island scrub oak, also known as Quercus pacifica, and you'll see it in the chaparral as well as the island woodlands here on Catalina. But this is a really important plant for the ecosystems here. It's what's considered a keystone species, meaning that its role in the environment and in the ecosystem is extremely important. So removal of that within the system actually can cause an ecosystem collapse. And so a lot of plants, a lot of animals, birds, things like that, really rely on this species for their existence. So provides a lot of food and habitat for not just birds, but also insects and other organisms on the islands. But it's a really important plant. It does put on acorns that acorn woodpeckers that we have here on the island rely on, as well as island scrub jays, and as well as other organisms. And so really important plant, you know, a really nutritious nut in on that acorn that provides a lot of energy and habitat for organisms here on the island. Really cool plant, really important plant here on the island. This is Quercus pacifica, the island scrub oak. Oh, this is cool. So this is actually a perfect example of that interaction with this scrub oak and its importance with other insects and other parts of the environment. So here you can see what look like berries or something like that, or even kind of fruits on this type of oak is actually what's called a gall. And these little galls are, and I think this might be a wasp, but can sting and inject onto a leaf and lay its eggs within the leaf. And what will form, it actually tricks the plant hormonally to produce this gall. So it'll use the energy from the photosynthetic energy from the oak here, and it will grow a structure that will house the larvae for that insect. I believe it's a wasp in this case. So the young can then eat in and around the actual gall and grow to a size and eventually emerge protected from the environment. So really cool thing. These are called galls, and you'll even see some of them get into like huge balls on certain plants. We might find that here as well on the island. That's using the plant as a really important factor in its life cycle, the scrub oak here. So really cool thing. Really cool. It's all around this scrub oak right here. It's just a nuisance for the plant. It doesn't really cause any real damage, but really cool. These are called galls. Okay, try not to get grossed out, but a real fun way, interesting way to take a peek into the interactions within the environment is to look at scat. And so here we have a relatively fresh island fox scat, and you can see in here you have ripened berries that the fox has eaten. I do see some berry producing plants behind me, so we'll go check that out. And from this you can see that it's gone through the entire stomach and the stomach acid of the fox, the mammal, and it's releasing that seed. The seed is now emerging from those seed coats, and they're ready. These are ripened. As a propagator, this is perfect to actually start planting and have some new plants sprout. And so sometimes when we grow plants, we will actually have to use acid to scarcify the actual seed to get them to germinate. So we're actually mimicking what's happening in the environment like this, where it's gone through the stomach acid of a mammal. And that way, once the plant actually has somewhat tricked the fox, in this case, to use its energy to be mobile, because the plant is not, and take the offspring within the berry and the seed and transport it other places for those plants to then emerge. So really cool that it's this transfer of energy and distribution of plants using animals to do that kind of mechanism. So really cool. I think this is probably what's called a redberry. It looks like, yeah, sure enough, there's one right behind us. So we'll go see if we can see those berries actually being produced on the plant. You can see that this island fox likely had that. In the winter, you likely will have the Toyon, also known as Christmas holly, because around that time of year, it will have red berries. So you can see year-round, the foxes and other animals will have food sources. In the summer, like now, you'll have like lemonade berries, and as well as the summer holly. In the winter, they'll have Toyons and have food year-round. So really cool, the ecosystem here on the island. So cool. So yeah, here it is. Here's the food source that island fox was eating on, and you can tell there's a lot of berries available for the plant, for the fox this time of year. This is the island redberry, also known as Frangula or Rhamnus, pirifolia, subspecies or variety insularis, I forget, but it'll be correct down here. I'll say Rhamnus, maybe Frangula, pirifolia, subspecies, maybe variety insularis, or maybe that insularis part isn't on there, but it'll be correct. But really cool plant. You can tell giving a lot of food and energy for foxes and other animals, birds as well. This time of year in the summer, real cool part of that ecosystem. Transfer of energy actually produced from the sun that the plant produced to then make these appetizing berries that then use the energy of the fox to transport it to another place and populate a new population of, or continue a population of this this plant right here, the island redberry. Really pretty, really cool plant. All right, here's a really cool example of that. Another fruit-bearing plant, a berry-producing plant. This is the Toyon I mentioned. There is a place here actually where I went to camp as a kid called Toyon Bay, and has a lot of these berries on. You can see they're just starting to come through right now. It is a member of the rose family, so you'll see there's a ton of little white rose-shaped flowers that are being pollinated right now by a few different types of bees. Then we'll go, once it's pollinated, to produce this berry right here. You can tell they're nice and green right now, so they're still ripening all the way until about winter time, when these will then provide a lot of food for birds and animals during the winter. And you can see it's mixed in here with some of the red berries as well, over here and definitely here behind me. So this is just like a year-round buffet for the animals and birds here on Catalina. Really cool. This is Toyon, Heteromeles, arbutifolia. I'm all right. Good thing I got that on film. I'm not good at this. All right. Thank you for joining me on this exploration around parts of the west end of Catalina. Yeah, we had a good time, saw some really cool things, and I only fell off the bug twice. Beautiful day, good exploration. I'm gonna head into town at 2 Harbors for lunch. And yeah, if you like this video, if you'd like to see more, just go ahead and explore through the channel, or hit that like and subscribe button and share it with people you think would like it as well. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video.